You know, it all comes down to this. It's been an exciting season, and we've got two new faces in the final arena. We've got a 301 player from Germany, XTheConclusion, and of course Fangfang, which is what I'll probably be calling him today, but you know, he used to go by Red Hair, but you know, we've gotten to know the players a little bit better, and he's requested we call him Fangfang, or maybe it's pronounced Fangfang, but I'm going to call him Fangfang for now. I'm not ready to commit to the proper pronunciation yet until I get confirmation and Rooster doing it as well. So I'm really excited, man. Conclusion's been playing so well. Taking down Flower Fairy was incredibly impressive, considering Flower Fairy is basically the GOAT and has been just crushing it in every single MAG1. And yeah, Fangfang's never made it to the finals, despite being in, I mean, basically like 4 different competitions that the MAG1 has offered. So this is his moment. Either way, both players, you know, really impressive results. Making it to the finals is incredibly hard. Hey, Rooster, how's it going?
Hello, doing very well.
What an exciting day. Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just incredible to see these two players in the finals, considering they've never been here before. You know, Fangfang's gotten close several times. Conclusion, though, really getting a far run that he's never quite done before.
And looking strong, too. I mean, the fashion in which he beat Fairy, who, mind you, did show up in 2 finals of the MAG1 season and then won the MAG 100. Very, very impressive stuff.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Flower Fairy always has momentum, so for him to get taken down by Conclusion, really impressive. I mean, honestly, like, he didn't lose many games. Like, he lost 1 game to Flower Fairy. Well, actually, more than 1 game to Flower Fairy. I think he lost twice to Flower Fairy in the tournament. And I'm not sure if he lost any other games. He's had a pretty clean run. I think Fangfang's like been a little bit more messy. But I mean, overall, both players looking really strong this season. And ladder-wise, I have not seen Conclusion play too much ladder these last several days. I don't know if he's like hiding on some of his Smurfs. I know he's got more than one, so.
Yeah, I can't say that I have seen him play either. I faced him on ladder not that long ago, and he was still kind of up to the same antics as before. Didn't really seem too phased. Of course, we did have a patch literally yesterday. Now, I would wager that it hasn't changed too much. I wouldn't think that we see any new strats, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, is it enough that if they see a Void Eye pack with a specialist they like say Farseer, Typhoon, something like that, or, you know, Aerial with Conclusion, would he pick it up?
I would be very surprised. Of course, for those of you that don't know, we did get, what was it, like a 30% HP buff on those new units, the Void Eyes, which is significant, but they still seem to be a little bit lackluster. A bit of an like awkward range, and yeah, I don't know. I haven't made them work, but hey, if anyone can do it, it might be one of these guys.
Yeah, Suppression Shot got a nice buff as well. It gives 15 range now. It's kind of cool when techs just like give a tiny bit of range. Yeah, it's like kind of like half of a range enhancement tech on its own. So we'll see if that will shift things, you know, lets it sit behind some other units a little bit more safely.
That is a completely novel mechanic, right? Is it not?
Yeah, there's not many other things that do it. Like, I guess there's like siege mode, but the whole point of siege is basically the range, right?
Yeah. But there's no like, because this is like 15 range, like that doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe the scanning radar, but it's a little bit of a different effect.
It is definitely interesting. Now, looking at the heat maps here, Conclusion has a lot of stuff in the middle. This is the round 1 deploys, guys. So it shows how much supplies they're putting on each area of the map. And yeah, kind of interesting how much middle stuff Conclusion likes.
Yeah, and a little bit of a right side bias as well from the looks of it.
Yeah, a lot more symmetrical here on Fangfang. I think he's really cognizant of, you know, just not being predictable here. And yeah, a lot of different styles as well. You can kind of tell by just the concentration both towards the line and towards the tower.
All right, well, I just want to briefly recap the journey these players have had. We started 7 weeks ago. 16 players battling through upper brackets and lower brackets.
Rivalries and storylines were forged, but only 2 players would meet in the finals today. A 201 legend faces a 301 pillar. Prevail, and you add your name to the MAG1's Hall of Fame. Lose, and hey, we'll see you next season. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the conclusion in Fangfang. Game 1, best of 7, here we go.
So exciting, man. Can't wait to see what these players do. Conclusion loves aerial specialists. Look at that pack right there. He's got sledgehammers, one of the best units to pair with aerial. Basically, all the air units love to have that big tank line in front. A Rhino specialist here for Fangfang. Really great pack, and kind of indicates we might start off with an aggro game.
Ooh, and we get a Sledge Marksman from the Conclusion. So, might get a defensive game. I have to say, Red Hair has been looking so good on aggro.
Definitely agree with that. Something interesting too is that we've seen some crazy marksman scaling from the Conclusion, and you know, he's got a lot of men. He's got 3 of them already, and then he gets that orange man on round 2. So let's see, look at his text, guys. Like, yeah, he didn't change it. He's still got this pure DPS and the range scaling on the elite. So let's see. Now, he is going to get aggroed down by the tarantulas, so maybe he can't quite get into that long-range battle that he was hoping for when he selected this pack.
Yeah, are you expecting a big marksman investment here? Because it's not something that you tend to see all that much in defensive scenarios. Can be hard to get the scaling going. Range might not be as useful, but maybe we get to see a double shot early on. Those spiders can get real tanky, and getting some early experience will definitely be the goal here for Fangfang.
Yeah, I think Conclusion is pretty sad to see this aggro. I think he was really hoping for a long-range battle, just having tons of marksmen. But, you know, he'll have to make do. Tarantulas did lose a bit of health here, so yeah, it's going to be a bit easier to take them down. And Sledges on defense are still fantastic, so I think Conclusion's feeling all right about this.
Yeah, it's an instant block on the right side. That marksman on the outside of the tower, very well positioned, but oof, the crawler streaming in. That might be able to take down that marksman before this spider falls.
Conclusion gonna get the debuff first. I think it's rather close though. Don't know if the debuff does much though. He's shooting at crawlers right now. Sledge, the one Sledge ain't doing too much either. So yeah, looks like Fangfang gonna pretty comfortably take down this round. Now he gets the spider and a marksman at the very end, so that's nice.
Has a lock as well. I doubt he can take it down. It would be so nice though if he can take down that marksman.
Oh my gosh.
The one
it would have
hit
killed
point.
it.
Yeah. That would have been real nice, but Conclusion losing some hit points and does have a low HP starter, so 3.6 might start to get a bit iffy. At least he gets his orange man, gets to position it as well on the right side, so that might help him to stabilize.
Yeah, pretty nice here. They both pick up the haste module. I didn't actually catch all the options, but I think they were just like gray cards, like no blue call down spells or anything like that. And yeah, the haste module, is Conclusion going to hold on to it, or does he want to get crazy DPS on this level 3 marksman?
That would be spicy. Haste module on a marksman? That's not something you see very often.
Yeah, it's not that strong, but it does basically give you like a marksman's worth of DPS, so it's not nothing.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, what we know from Conclusion as well is he loves his air units, right? Like if it's an air giant, a Raiden, an Overlord, he plays it. And defensively, Sledge Overlord has been looking kind of strong recently, so maybe he holds on to it for something along those lines.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've seen Flower Fairy do a decent bit of boat defense recently. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like, there is a spider mine threat from Fangfang, and spider mines are really good at distracting those boats. So not clear yet where this game's gonna go.
And have a look at this. Shallow flank already there with the Tarantula on round 2. Pressure mounting and Fangfang unrelenting.
Yeah, I mean, the left side's really not doing too much. We can see the crawlers this time on the left are going to be going towards the right because Fangfang manipulated the aggro there. Doesn't want to lose his tower. So that's nice. He doesn't have to fortify it or anything like that. And the pressure, yeah, as you said, pretty real on that right side. Losing a marksman and now the tower going to be under pressure from that Tarantula.
And the thing is that Spider had to spawn still, right? So that won't be a thing next round. And it's already looking this good this round. A little bit scary. Shaft clear, a definite problem for Conclusion. Only has those sledgehammers, and you can see that it's caused trouble. And now with 3 spiders surviving and 3 marksmen as well, I mean, you do the tally, that's 900 damage.
It's big, man. And the best possible Tarantula got the level. The one with the haste module just barely via getting that tower at the end of the battle. So this game is just going great for Fangfang.
All right, well, hold on. There are unit reinforcements here. There is some damage available. We've got the new Void Eyes, which have the best DPS per cost, actually, out of the offered units, but can be tricky to play. Of course, you have the Phoenix, which is what Conclusion will go for, and then Fangfang will go for the same thing. Melter there may be worth considering, can be okay, but I guess it's very scary into the Phoenixes.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Maybe like there's a multi-melter line, but yeah, they want to keep it simple here. The haste module gonna go on the Vulcan, so we actually paid 200 for the unlock there. Just says, you know, I don't see many Fangs, I see mostly crawlers, and look at that, the crawler levels come in. Fangfang trying to really tempo him down here, but the Vulcan's gonna look so good, and that's gonna give a lot of experience to it.
Yeah, I'm a bit scared when I see the Vulcan and you're at 2.7k, because it can be very snowbally here. Like, your Vulcan locks the wrong thing, like targets a tarantula, goes down, and you lose a bunch of hit points. It never levels, and well, you just spent a whole bunch of money to do nothing. But with those crawler levels you mentioned, maybe he has enough. Right side though, Conclusion, you're trying to go for a bit of a tempo play, hoping to insta-lock that spider, but the crawler's been added, and that's not going to work.
Very sad. Now, on the other hand, Conclusion does stop this Phoenix flank, or does he? I actually don't know how that plays out. Maybe the Phoenix gets through. Oh, what level are they? Oh, that's the Giga Phoenix.
Oh, that's painful.
Vulcan locked onto
yeah,
the blue
and Vulcan
spider.
locked onto... I might have cast a curse them there. My bad.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's gonna... Man, he's gonna get really low on HP from this.
Yeah, this is... pretty much worst case. You get flanked, debuffed, your Phoenix play doesn't work out because of the crawler addition. Okay, I will say that Phoenix kind of redeemed itself. It was not in a good spot, but the fact it took down, was that 2 spiders, does help a little bit to mitigate the damage taken.
Yeah, at least that's something here. We're picking up a giant item, probably for the Vulcan, maybe also just a new Vulcan. I guess we have to. It already has the haste module. Meanwhile, Fangfang, does anything look good here for you?
Yeah, I mean, you could always take the Fort on the mission, right? Like, it's not a bad spell. Lots of tanky units. You got the Rhino this turn as well, so that tankiness could help. But, well, Fangfang just decides to skip. We do know that he's greedy, and we actually do know that he doesn't like to take many spells, so...
Sure. And sold the Giga Phoenix, so this Vulcan in the corner, so sad. Oh my
no.
god. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Do we get a bluff? Double shot marksman, and then the marksman production as well, the best partner on the Vulcans.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This just feels so tough to recover from. There's 2 new threats now. We have the Rhino threat and the Wasp threat. Down comes the armor. I mean, it's not just good against the Vulcan, it's like actually kind of good against the marksmans as well, because it's just so many shots to kill this Rhino.
Yeah, the only real like asset in terms of DPS that Conclusion has is that level 3 marksman. That should be able to easily take care of those level 1 spiders and that level 1 Rhino on the left, but the right side looks quite dire. I like that top flank that he's doing. Going to pull some of the crawlers might help to get some locks, but that Wasp addition as well. I mean, it is tempo city here for Fangfang.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, pulling the crawlers is not even that good when you have Vulcans, I feel. So, yeah, I'm not really sure about all this. It's a lot of tempo coming in. Those Wasps are intercepting so many marksman shots. At least the Rhino looks like it's going to go down. We're spawning Sledges with that Vulcan. But do we have enough time? Our tower is getting low.
Ooh, the tower, the Vulcan, it will save it. Just about, but never mind. The marksman finishes the job.
He's alive, though. He shouldn't die from this. What are we sitting at? 1800? Yeah, we can take like 2 of these rounds.
I guess that's a silver lining.
Yeah, what is he going to do to recover?
1,000 hit points, start around 5. Like, this is... We just started mid-game. You can't really afford any mistakes.
Another haste module, just a bunch of equipment here. Super supply, not really something both players will be interested in, I imagine, although Fangfang does love those econ cards. Like to see
And
the
he
missiles come
could
out.
take it if he somehow believes that conclusion will stabilize. But yeah, I like that he didn't. Just full tempo. Photon coating on that Rhino makes it even tankier.
I feel like War Factory could be good for either player, but especially for Fangfang. Probably can just close it out.
Yeah, maybe next turn if we see a unit drop, because we're due to get one either next turn or the one after.
I actually don't think he has a parking spot for the car. Like, I don't think it fits between the two blue spiders. Maybe it does, though. It's kind of tough to tell.
Well, it's 6 squares from the line, so it can't go like right in front.
Okay. Well, rip.
I think between them is 7, though. No, actually, I
Okay.
think it would fit in between.
Yeah, that is a perfect War Factory hole.
It is even more than that, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's like
okay.
8 squares. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would just be crushing, but...
We're going to have a left side Rhino. Rhino investment, a second tech. You don't see that very often. Whirlwind now on the bar, and that should chew through those sledges and crawlers on the left side. Left tower under some real threat this round.
Yeah, that's a really cool play. But does it give the right side more breathing room? Because he's actually starting to kind of take care of things. And actually, the Rhino is getting pretty low, but it's going to get the tower.
We'll get the tower, but right side, there's no Rhinos left. It's just going to be spiders and 2 marksmen, and that double shot is doing some work.
We need one more kill. Okay, what are we at? 1,000 here. Are we living?
Oh, 16 hit points?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
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 Kind of good for your mental, too. You don't want to lose round 5 on this first game.
We do have unit drops here. Farseer pickup for both. It is also the highest sell value, and that is what it will be used for.
Yep, both players at 1,500 here. And 1 car coming out. Do we see car for Fangfang as well?
Okay. I mean, conclusion, we have seen very proficient with the factory. And I think it's a good thing that he buys one here, because as you mentioned, Fangfang could have bought one this turn, doesn't opt to do so, but if he went for that option, I'm pretty sure there wouldn't have been the damage to take down the War Factory, so mirroring it here potentially could be a good idea. Instead, we're going to get the Wasps.
Yeah, getting quite a few more Wasp. I think it's because he's recognizing that the marksmen are getting those nice locks on the Rhino. And also the Wasp sort of stops sentry missiles, since sentry missiles can only target air or ground. He's even getting a missile interceptor, 2 of them. So he wants those Rhinos to be fast. He wants to get those whirlwinds in, and definitely makes sense to me.
That right side missile, though, for conclusion, I think will hit the Wasps. That interceptor is a little too far away, I believe.
Oh, you need 3. I mathed this out recently. Like, because because the missile is so close to air, you literally need 3 anti-missile devices to protect it. Like, it's just so dumb.
Yeah, well, doesn't quite have that, so 07 Wasps.
Yep.
At least the Rhino doesn't get slowed. It will try to chop the factory, and its DPS is pretty decent, but yeah, can't compete with that overload truck.
Yeah, that really helps to get those chops in. Like, you can see the War Factory kind of getting low, and the same story happening on the left. Like, the Rhino eventually gets in, but this time I feel like we've killed things much faster on the right.
Yep. And tower will fall, but pretty much everything's gone. Just a couple of Wasps left.
Yeah, definitely conclusion going to get the round. I'd be surprised if he doesn't. He's got quite a bit left. Annoying to lose the tower, but I mean, he's good. Tons of material on the board here. But where does that leave things, right? Like, I think the ball is still in Fangfang's court. He's got a ton of HP. He can start buying melters, or I don't even know what his flowchart is to beat War Factories, but conclusion's got to decide, do I leave the War Factory? Do I level it? Do I move it? We'll have to see.
And on top of that, what about these call-ins? Vulcan's Descent, the
Yeah.
Overlord.
They're nasty, man. But Fangfang says no. I mean, he must want money for something here. Is he going to stay Rhinos even? I have seen Rhinos beat War Factories. If you get enough chops, you get enough volume, it can happen.
I mean, surely you need to buy a melter, right?
I'm not sure. It depends. Like, does Conclusion level it? Does he just buy a white one? Against a white factory, you don't necessarily need a melter.
Well, okay, it is going to get sold and repositioned. That does make sense. I just don't really know like what Fangfang would be killing the factory with, because it's not going to be the Rhinos, and it's not going to be the crawlers or the spiders either. So we'll go for the melter.
Yeah.
It's on the wrong side.
And he bought it blue, so like he really was afraid of it either dying or not doing enough DPS. And yeah, as you said, it's on the wrong side. Now maybe that'll help him kill the Vulcans as well. Let's see if the Rhino just dies super fast on the left. I imagine the tower never falls. That's a nice late missile there, just guaranteeing that the Rhino gets slowed down, missiling the Wasps as usual. And let's see.
Yeah, getting rid of that air is actually quite important, because he only has the marksman for now, and being able to get rid of those should help him get those easy locks. Yeah, left side looking fantastic. Right side struggling a little, but at this point the marksman seemed to have enough DPS to take down those Rhinos, and that Vulcan actually did go through, so a debuff. 9 seconds now for Conclusion.
Pretty clutch timing, right? Like the Melter's starting to get those nice lock-ons. We're cleaning up everything, defending our right tower. Down goes the left tower. I think that's a 7-second debuff, and surely not much else is going to fall here for Conclusion. I guess the Vulcan, so that's nice. That's a good, what, 1,500 maybe? That's getting pretty low here for Fangfang.
Has Conclusion turned the page? Like, the marksmen are proper scaled. He's got a level on that Vulcan. The spawn item is great. The War Factory is crushing. I mean,
sure.
What is stopping him here? Maybe the Ion Blast.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of melters could come down. The Ion Blast, yeah, who is it better for? I think it's better for Fangfang. I think Conclusion's got sort of like a tight clump defending his tower, so yeah, this could be the final blow that Fangfang needs.
We'll opt to take another melter. Level 1 this time on the left. But yeah, we
like
tend
that.
to agree with you that Ion looks better for Fangfang. Going for the 2 spiders is Conclusion. That does make sense, and the Ion on the right side for Fangfang to take down the Vulcans. The level 2 will survive, but that level 1, if there's no barrier, should die.
How do you ever prevent this melter lock on your War Factory? Like, sure, you buy 1 chaff, but does that do anything?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you should sell it and reposition it again.
Yeah, just keep trying to change the angle, right?
Range on it could be a good second tech, but I don't think he has the money for it.
It's going to go for the 2 chaff to protect your War Factory line, which I don't think it gets there. Like, it's so tricky to buy chaff in the late game to protect War Factory. It's usually all about a crap ton of crawlers coming in, which he certainly doesn't have, or, you know, a bunch of shields, that type of thing. So I'm getting nervous here.
Yeah, we get a nice use out of the oil as well there from Fangfang. The factory hasn't been repositioned. Melter getting close to locking. Actually, will lock the factory now. That's really bad news. Right side, Ion Beam, blasting the Vulcan. Marksmen have managed to somehow live, though, but they're going to be all the DPS that stays alive.
Melter getting a lock on the left. That Rhino is so healthy. Melter locking onto the other Vulcan. Down goes the tower. And this is not even close. With only 16 health, Conclusion's going to fall to game 1 to Fangfang.
GG's. Looked a little bit dicey there for a moment for Fangfang. I think Conclusion perhaps happy that it wasn't a complete blowout in the first game, but a nice use of the mobile beacon there. The Rhino walking all the way to the right side tower, even managing to get that tower debuff, and then a good use of the spell will close the first game.
I think it was pretty important there that Conclusion didn't die round 5. Like, I think he's feeling confident now. He knows he was in a terrible position, and for him to be basically 1 turn away from killing Fangfang, that's got to feel not too bad. He knows he has lots of breathing room. It's now what basically is like a best of 5. I mean, well, I guess he has to win 1 before it's a best of 5, but, you know, he's got tons of room left to get back into this series.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, winning 4 games is quite a bit, so nothing to stress about or worry about just yet here for conclusion.
And yeah, I do think he was not very happy with how the pack choices went down. Like, I really think he picked that pack. I don't think you pick marksman on defense. Do you like marksman on defense against most common aggro openings?
I do. I mean, I feel like it's like the only thing that you can pick. You don't like necessarily pick for the marksman. I feel like you pick for the sledges, but
yes.
Sometimes on round 1, it's not bad to have the triple mark opener because it's really hard to buy any other DPS. In fact, there is none if we're just going to ignore Void Eye for now. You could of course buy like a saber, but it's really hard to guess where the opponent's gonna be. So having those marksmen at least gives you a chance at winning the first round. Else you kind of have to just say, well, I'm gonna build like arc, sledges, and chaff and like give up because I can't kill the tarantulas or whatever, and then play for, I don't know, a phoenix on round 2. But
yeah, fair enough. Okay, so maybe his pack wasn't as bad as I thought. I do think though with his text that he really does want that long range battle.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the double shot there did fine though. It's just like rough, like going Vulcan on defense into this type of board. They're not great into tarantula. The Rhino edition made things even worse, so like it's hard.
Yeah, like he's Rhino specialist, right? So he gets the blue one for free, the unlock there as well, so you save 50. Some decent equipment came down, right? Like the photon, I don't even know what you call that thing, the free one, but yeah, that's helpful as well. And I don't know, that's pretty cool to see a whirlwind. You really don't see it often. It's usually always the photon follow-up, but I don't know, it looked all right.
Yeah, I mean, I love to see some spinny rhinos, so that was a pretty cool first game.
I think he's going to be pulling up more War Factory. Like, other than boats and Raidens or whatever else air he likes, I don't even know if he does Abyss, by the way. He seems to like War Factory more than Abyss, despite being an air Andy, so I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen him play much Abyss. I would be surprised to see that. Feel like those are we had some players in the season that did like experimenting with that, but I don't think these two are part of the gang.
Yeah, I think you're right. We've seen Fangfang lose to Abyss from Blue Hair, so like I don't know. I feel like both players. Wait, I just got a memory. Did Conclusion use it against Fangfang or Flower Fairy or something? Anyways, we're starting the game. Sorry, guys.
Something for production to look forward to. All right, game number 2. Fangfang is up 1-0 in this best of 7.
What are we going to be picking here? Speed with the steel balls. Not too bad. Fangfang, what's he looking at here? Weird packs, to be honest with you.
I'm like looking at the amplify spec just because I like the high hit point and amplify sledges, but it was a Void Eye pack, which is a little bit awkward with the ranges of those 2 units.
Let's see, what kind of game are we going to get here? Certainly an aggro form Conclusion. Looks like Fangfang may be trying to get lucky and get a headbutt here, since when you headbutt a speed specialist, they can't really leverage their speed advantage, and so that's one common way to get them, but currently he's losing the coin flip. Now you could go center, but even if you go center, I think the speed has a lot of, avenues to still make use of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can push the tower quicker, as you say. At the same time, steel ball into saber is typically steel ball favored, so I don't know, like, if you'd rather be in front of Fangfang here just because of that matchup. Either way, it looks to be a crossfire.
Yeah, and I think you're pretty happy to be Conclusion. Maybe you're right that you're happy no matter what, but from my perspective, I do prefer this for Conclusion's sake.
You should get the Tower debuff first. Some steel balls will get pulled. I doubt they'll be able to do much though. That saber should be able to take them out. Yeah, Crawler's gonna get in the way. I'm not sure here. I think Fangfang might have this. He's already taken out like 3 out of the 8 steel balls.
No, I think Conclusion's got it. This arc light on the right behind the tower, by the way, is also a really good thing that occurred for his sake. Like, the round 1 was just so favorable here for Conclusion, which is going to shape up the whole game.
Arclights will get rid of the crawlers, but there might indeed be a few too many steel balls left. They're not going to go for the tower, but Saber, it does have a bit quicker reload, but will it be able to take care of everything? Not quite.
All right, you're happy to be Conclusion there. Something funny, by the way, is since your speed SBC, this arc light at the the very bottom of the screen might run in front of the tower and die, which is not what you want. Ooh, improved Wasp. It did lose 10 range.
It did, yeah.
That patch.
But it's still a really good card.
It's still very good.
Like,
round
the
2.
range was nice, but 60% attack and 60% hit points is a lot of stats for Wasps to get.
And there's a Wasp Swarm as well, so like air certainly on both players' minds here. Do you just pick up Mustang since it's good against half the cards showing?
Yeah, that could be a safety net. Both players just gonna go for the Wasp Swarm instead. I can't say that I'm a little disappointed, but oh well.
Yeah, they're playing it pretty safe here. Even getting the Fang, I imagine that's going behind the tower. Ooh, I like that positioning. You know, they have the speed SBC, right? Yeah, it's just like, oh, and the tower fort. He is really stable on that right side. This gives him just full room to explore how he can just crush the left side of the battlefield, maybe try and parry some of the middle as well, as some of those units are turning.
And one thing about Fangfang that you will notice when he plays aggressive, he is very, very disrespectful of tower flanks. They will often be like completely open and unleveled until the moment that you actually like decide to flank. So I like this from Conclusion. Tries his luck and looks like he will be getting that debuff.
I think so too, yeah. Should be coming in. Yeah, nothing at all in that corner. The Fangs in the bottom right may not win against the Wasp, but it doesn't matter, right? He's got the Fortify on the tower. The Arc Light's there to stall as well. He gets the debuff first, like you mentioned. And I think that's got to be good for Conclusion here as he tries to get this Orange Man experience.
And yeah, right side will be completely safe. The tower got leveled. Fangfang sold, I believe, one of his sabers to be able to afford double sledge. And so the pressure on the right side completely vanished for him.
That's definitely an economic feels bad moment to have to sell your starter 200 unit this early. So we'll see. But not great against balls, so I do get it.
Yeah, this is where that matchup kind of kicks in, right, that you were mentioning. Like, he knows that he can't really pressure the tower as fast. And so that's making him kind of have to respect the left and start defending over there with his units.
Yeah, I suppose so. Now on the plus side, Conclusion sort of over-defended his tower on the right. So it is really favorable for Fangfang to give up that and just defend.
Well, let's see. We get an Arc Light added here next to that Marksman for Fangfang to deal with those Fangs. We get a Scorpion purchase as well.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it's a really good defensive unit that pairs well with stuff like Sledgehammers. He's got some nice positionings he can put it. Maybe a bit weak in the sky, and Conclusion is the #1 air user in all of MAG1, so we'll see if Conclusion aims to abuse that or not. I mean, he did just buy a Phoenix, but that's that could be just the beginning.
Is this ever an Abyss game? I guess it could also be a War Factory game, even though the opponent is Scorpion.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a flaw in my play, but when I see 2 or 3 Sledges, I get scared to go into Abyss because they're just so bad in Sledges, but maybe it's fine. I need to experiment more.
Yeah, the regen is scary, true. And he does run it.
I mean, even without regen, it's kind of annoying to kill them.
Like the Phoenix pickup, though, there's 0 anti-air on the board here for Fangfang, so that's just going to be a default win for Conclusion. And that's kind of nice when the Scorpion just came out and you get to see that, well, your opponent is trying to hard counter your steel balls.
It's really clutch, and the Scorpion's not doing that great. Like, it's killed mostly 1 ball at a time. It just got 2 balls there. We can see the ball actually locking onto the Scorpion. I think even without the air cheese, maybe he was fine. Kind of close, hard to tell. I mean, the Phoenix would be something else, of course, so Yeah, looking pretty good for conclusion.
Very nice round. Keeps chipping away at Fangfang's hit points and still sitting at 4.9 himself, so nothing to worry about just yet.
Yeah, sort of the reverse of the last game, right? Like tempo completely swung in the other direction. And now once again we get a Void Eye unit drop. Not sure.
Okay,
I mean, on speed.
Honestly, like this might be worth picking up. It's going to be the Stormcallers instead and the Rhinos, but like those guys have DPS. Like don't underestimate them.
Yeah, they'd be handy for taking down like the Sledges really quickly. That's really the weakness of Conclusion's army right now. They have additional deployment slot, by the way, so Giants may be a little more difficult to access. So I think Conclusion may just stay on the, you know, like the Phoenixes. Looks like he's going into even Mustangs. Mustangs not particularly good against anything on Fang's board. So what makes you think that he wants the Mustangs here?
Well, if anyone saw the series against Fairy, they will probably find this setup familiar. This is the corner factory setup. You can see that there is a nice 7x7 hole available there on the left with the Mustangs behind, and I think that it is going to be the factory purchased for Conclusion. Sold out of one of the storms. I guess he's using that for the money. And then, yeah, next round might just be the good old truck showing up.
I think you're right. And it's funny because we've seen that in the past against Scorpion as well. So this is, you know, very comfortable for him. What do you think the Mustangs are so important? Like, why do you think they're so important? Is it to take care of air or just to kill little crawlers and fangs?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, right? Like factory isn't the best at clearing chaff, so having the Mustangs to help out is nice. And then it also can't shoot up naturally unless you're producing Phoenix, but that's not what you want to click on the corner factory. So yeah, just gotta have some of anti-air that sits safely behind the factory as it runs in.
Interesting. Yeah, pretty cool to see. I mean, the War Factory looked pretty good last game, right? Like, it almost turned the corner. And this time, he's got, you know, tons of breathing room. He's got the full setup. Like, the last game was more cheesy, right? It was like a random War Factory in the corner. This is like a prepared War Factory on the corner.
Yep. Extended range factory, but that's the wrong one. Yeah, that's not the one you want to see.
This card is so bad, guys. Like, actually, like, I don't think any top MMR player thinks that this card is viable. Like, maybe in a long-range battle, like, as in, like, standard versus standard, but
it used to be really good, and then it got nerfed because it was too good.
Yeah. Do we get it now? And do you ever field maintenance or efficient maintenance? I doubt it.
No. Typically, if you only want to buy one factory, there's no reason to efficient maintenance it.
Yeah, that's true. You wouldn't ever go wide and buy a lot of cars with this build, right?
No. You typically just have, like, the one, and that gets to, like, level 2, level 3, double tech it, and just, yeah, run in.
Yeah. Buys a ball to defend that flanking Rhino in the corner there. A lot of arc lights here for Fang. He's got a very sturdy board. He's still remarkably weak to air, but I guess with the additional deployment picked up, he just doesn't feel afraid of any sort of like boat transition or anything like that.
I wonder though, like if going Wasp here could have been a nice in-between. Instead, we get to see that corner sledge crawler play, which we also saw in the Fairy games from last week.
True. Yeah, it's funny how he's setting up every single piece before doing it, because we've seen him, I don't know, change the order a little bit last week, where, you know, the flanks came in later, additional crawlers and Mustangs were given later, but this time it feels like he has everything set up and he just needs to buy that so important War Factory.
Yeah, I have some questions though as to whether or not this is a little late, because this is a lot of damage going his way. Now, he did have the hit points to be able to get away with something like this, but he has to be really sure that this play is going to work out.
Yeah, I wonder if he was even like baiting out bad plays, you know, like hoping Fang would buy like a terrible melter, something like that, and then he just pivots in a completely different direction.
Well, we get a unit drop, and it is going to be the level 3 Farseer to sell again, and here it is, the truck. We already know where it's going to go. On that left side, range been picked up. Also the overload, so fully kitted, and it'll have to show up here because last round didn't look good, so it better show up with some DPS to get rid of those scorpions.
There's the acid, kind of perfect timing there. Now, we've seen how Conclusion deals with the acid last week. A combination of either Photon or Fire Extinguisher on the Hounds. Fire Extinguisher does get rid of acid, just as the same as fire, so yeah, we'll see what he goes for, but this could be still a painful turn if we get some good acid lands.
They don't have range though, those scorpions, just yet. So without the range, it might be hard to lock.
Yeah, Farseer unlocked as well, so we can get Photon for, what, 400? Instead of, oh, he doesn't even have it on the bar. This is pretty fortunate that the unit drop came round 6. He was able to, you know, fund this expensive turn of unlocking it, buying it, and then double teching.
And let's see, the Wasp's back off cooldown just going to be used defensively for both double attack and double defense enhancements from the tower, by the way, for Fangfang.
Wow. Let's see, how fast are we killing the scorpions? We've seen them fall really fast last week. It looks like, once again, that blue scorpion dying in moments. The War Factory probably picking up tons of experience, already leveled, and just steamrolling on into the tower.
I mean, this thing is so fast. Temp speed has been clicked. Of course, you have that speed specialist as well, so instead of going at 6 meters a second, it's now moving in at 12. And, well, you can just see what that looks like.
Oh my gosh, this took down Flower Fairy, and you can see why. This strategy is insane. It's so hard to deal with. You've got the acid on the perfect turn. Did it matter? Not at all. Not even Photon, not even Extinguisher yet. And that puts Fangfang really low.
And the thing is, like, Scorpion just never has been a counter to this strat. Like, the Photon, I mean, yes, currently it's not on the bar, and, well, we have the Farseer instead, but it's just too quick of a strat to care about the acid.
Yeah, that is pretty true. Improved firepower here. We don't have a Giga Mustang like we did last week. We had some crazy games last week, like level 8 Mustang with improved with this exact same setup. But, you know, it's still a good item.
And I don't even think we're going to see Photon here. Conclusion just says, yeah, I don't care. Like, you're not going to lock my factory. Your Scorpion shoot too slow. I'm just going to get to your tower before it even matters. Fangfang, though, pulls out the cheese strat, and this is something that factories can be vulnerable to. Not that much DPS in the air, but he clicks degen beam on the Wraith instead of armor. So Mustangs might be able to take this down. I'm a bit surprised about that. Of course, the slow is nice, the bonus damage is lovely. You're stacking that on top of the acid, but can this Wraith survive?
Yeah, good questions. He's undoing. He's undoing.
Okay, armor instead.
Such
Second
a good
one.
Question. No, degen.
No,
I like the
degen
degen, but like, my worry is that while the degen's amazing, he hasn't solved every problem you need to solve yet. You know, like, sure, there's acid, but I'm just not sure I'm a believer.
I mean, there's no range on these Scorpions either, so again, they're not going to be shooting at the factory right away. And
I do like the play,
level
though.
2 Wraith all the way in the top, though? Like, that's kind of expensive. Look
I don't like the top
pull
one.
with the crawlers.
Yeah, I like the one on the line. Like, yes, Slip Guys is
Oh,
dying,
the level 2
sure.
Rhino, though. That's a level 2
Yeah.
tower. 7-second debuff, but, I mean, where are the Scorpions?
I mean, they kind of did their job. Look how much damage it took thanks to the acid. I don't know. I really like the degen line. I think it was good. Don't know if it'll be enough,
It doesn't
though.
look too bad. Still some acid left on the ground, and that did bits. The Mustangs, though, might be able to take out the Wraith. The Rhino's got his eyes set on the other tower. Will actually take it down. Shield will fall. Wraith will eventually go down, but it's a minor victory here for Fangfang. Has some crawlers left, and the Fangs will be able to take down the Phoenix. But, yeah, that's not a massive amount of damage, only a couple hundred.
Yeah, and now you know what you're up against. You can buy that Farseer. You can Photon. Photon completely negates it. There's even the boat if you would like to target air with your Photon. We know Conclusion does run the Photon.
But this is a weird thing, right? Like, why do you want your opponent to Photon so badly? Like, you already clicked acid, and now you gave him another reason to click Photon. He does get the melters, so that's a nice in-between, or I guess a replacement for the Scorpions at this point.
Yeah. I mean, he might have not wanted to die and just thought, Wraith is the only way I can cheese that round. Maybe I stabilize after that. Maybe Photon's expensive to force out. Kind of annoying. I don't know. Hard to say, but it worked for one turn at least.
I have to say I'm a bit surprised about the play here from Conclusion, because he took the Fortress and sold, and then kept one. I guess that's, yeah, to deal with that Rhino on the right side. But there was also an Overlord available, which I believe also carries the Photon coating, so that could have been nice. Also helps with, like, taking down the Wraith a bit quicker, but I guess it still would leave the right side Rhino. But you could buy a Steel Ball for that, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's good food for thought. A lot of crawlers, by the way, on the front of the line here. This is just basically to slow down the War Factory. How the mobile beacon works is if anything is in the path trajectory, well, the first portion of it, then the War Factory cannot move. So he's just putting junk in front. He wants to create some distance between the tower, the Scorpions, and the War Factory.
Okay, we did add another Phoenix on the board, by the way, for Conclusion, but we can see one of them drifting towards the right. Will still lock on. Oh, keeps drifting. Gets killed by the Melter. But
no
yeah,
armor,
these are not... Yeah, having no armor does make a difference. The factory is so slowed. Oh my days, the damage.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of acid at the end there, maybe. I don't know, the degen, the acid. Because that Melter did 1 billion damage per second there to the level 2 War Factory. Don't think that Conclusion ever dies. Can he win?
Still have the Giga Mustangs, mind you. High level, and one of these does carry an improved firepower.
I think the game continues. Yeah, the Farseer's 300. And the Mustang's got to be less than 200.
Oh, the Crawlers. I think the Crawlers might have just saved this.
No, I don't think so.
Awfully close. 142.
It's so close, man. This is a crazy game. I think either player can win here.
Oh, the Lightning Storm, though. That is painful for all of these stacked small units on Conclusion side of the board. Do you ever sell the factory here and go right side? Because going through that oil didn't really seem like a good option.
That's a good point. It's tough, man. It's tough because you've prepared your entire game to have this amazing corner, and now you're going to abandon it. You can see Fangfang trying to pressure that right side. The Melter now answering the fort, which means the Rhino once again going to punch through to that tower. So now Conclusion has to stress about that. He has to stress about the Lightning Storm, the oil, and just a lot of Melters all the way in the back.
And we are going to sell and double stack right side with the factories now. The Melter, though, that did get added, will it insta-lock? If there's no chaff added, it definitely will. There is a second factory, though, so I'm not sure if it can take everything out, but...
So crucial. We haven't seen the Lightning Storm used from Conclusion, but surely it goes on the left. I think one War Factor will fall minimum. I think he has so much crawlers around there that both might fall, and this could be a massive disaster.
Okay, he did add a crawler. Oh, that's crucial.
That was so important. Yeah.
So Conclusion chances a bit better. Left side, I'm still worried, though. Those Mustangs, some of them getting moved to the right side. Hopefully they don't get scammed. Yeah, it's tricky. Half of them already gone down.
But we're going to win the rights thanks to that crawler. We're just completely owning it, in fact.
And Conclusion 1700. So, like, even if he can't take down the Wraith, he will still be able to survive. And this was a scary turn. Of course, he did kind of go for a cheesy play himself with that factory switcheroo.
Speed SBC coming in clutch. Those cars are so fast. The tower is kind of open due to this great angle. Unfortunate that one of the War Factories was caught in the corner, but doesn't matter. The tower goes down. Melter finishes that one car. And I think Fangfang is going to live.
Wow, that Melter there fighting for its life. And clutching up 142. I mean, he's holding on and it's not looking too bad. Of course, that spell did certainly help him, and hopefully for Conclusion, another one won't show up. It will be the Incendiary.
This game is so ridiculous. I mean, the Lightning Storm, I really think it was better for Fangfang. The Fire, maybe better for Conclusion. Not sure. The Ball Summon comes in. This is so crucial. against the melters. And, you know, once you have a lot of factories, it's quite good. Even just 2, kind of enough to justify that tech.
The fire should be kind of good. I wonder how much of his army conclusion can shift to the right to avoid the fire, because it'd be a bit sad if he burns his own stangs, but if he burns all of those crawlers, and I mean, look at Fangfang's board, there's an awful lot of them. That could be good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oil gets added.
Like the oil. A little bit nervous about the wasp swarm, but I mean, it should just chase the crawler. No, I mean, there's speed SBC, so there's weirdness going on. There's the fire extinguisher. Do we have hounds in the vicinity where the fire is?
Not really. We only bought the one with the sprinkler on the right side.
Okay.
And have a look at where that new melter got added. It is up against the backboard. A second one added as well. Level 4 tower, so even if you take it down, that's only going to yield 3 seconds to debuff.
Ooh, okay, the Mustang parrying the Mustang. Okay, I think the fire from Fangfang's really, really good. Maybe it's good for conclusion as well. But my read here is that the ball summoning could be the clutch factor here.
I'm scared though with these Mustangs. Like, we're gonna lose the 2 left packs for conclusion.
Yes.
That could just be another air scam, and at this point, 700 hit points. I mean, a Wraith can live, but okay, one of them at least will go down. Crawlers should burn, but so will the Stangs. Right side locked onto tower, 3 seconds of debuff. Here it is.
Yeah. I kind of like this for conclusion. I feel like the ball summoning's pretty good here. He's got tons of Mustangs, a lot of crawlers burning on the left. Somehow they're like living, but I guess they die. Oh, I don't know, man. This is kind of crazy. Wait, 1 car fell. Oh god, okay.
Yeah, 1 went down. Melter there with the smart targeting. There's no mech div on these steel balls, right? I believe.
Yeah.
No, there's not. Factory will fight for its life. Phoenix is still alive. Will take out the Wraith. Melter will take down the factory.
Oh my god. What level is that thing? Level 3.
It's level 3.
That's gonna beat up some level 1 factories.
Holy. How does it live?
What are we going into?
350
round
versus
11?
142. I mean, this is as close as you'll get. If you're not entertained, then I don't know what you want.
This is crazy. I don't know if these drops are good. We've seen Conclusion use Vulcan expertly many, many times this season. He's got the oil bombs and the incendiary bombs. Maybe if he wants more fire, that's good. Looks like he's taking the money option. Fangfang, though, with the Vulcan, might keep it. Nope. Bye-bye drops. We both got
straight gone.
a lot of
Get
money.
that out of here. If it ain't a melter and it ain't a truck, we don't want it.
So we took mech div on the balls. That's because we are summoning balls, so that's synergistic. And a crawler tech, which is also synergistic. That's most of Conclusion's money. Fangfang, though, 2,500 bucks, 50 seconds.
Yeah, you gotta spend big and spend fast in this round. We're gonna get another level 2 Scorpion, and range picked up now. So he's wagering that there's no photon on the right side, as the only fire steer on the board is on the left. That could be significant. Oh, we actually do get another one right. Good pickup.
I mean, extinguisher as well for whatever it's worth.
True. But I mean, if they insta-lock, then sometimes I guess these hounds won't be able to clear. The radius is not that big.
Definitely agree. 3 war factories,
5
though.
tower, by the way. 235,000 hit points, 1 second to debuff.
That's right. Just a 1 second debuff. But I mean, there's similar numbers of war factories as there are to melters. And with the mech div being added, there is a million crawlers in this game.
Yep, these Wraith are going to have to do a lot of work if Fangfang wants to survive. Lots of crawlers coming in left side, though. Just look at the horde of underground crawlers.
Yeah,
Melter.
That's right. That's a newly added tech there, the underground crawler, in addition to the mech div. Oh, we lose the boat. Oh my god, we have 1 car left.
Yeah, this is not looking great, but the balls, though, locking onto the melters, they might have the damage to take it down. Left tower will fall, right tower, I mean, it's very tanky, but the melter's now falling. Only the level 3 left on the left side. And Conclusion, I think, just has this one.
Yeah, man. That's just, yeah, he finished his composition, and this is just crushing now. Even losing the 2 cars relatively quick, I would say, did not really matter.
What a game. 11 rounds Conclusion. Brings back the corner factory, which proved to be so essential in his series against Flower Fairy in the semis, and he pulls it off against Fangfang as well now, 1-1.
Yep. Looks like it's not going to be one of those cursed 4-0s that we've had early on in MAG1's history. Of course, the very first season, 4-0 with Sacco. Season 2, 4-0 with Flower Fairy against Sacco once again. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it's happening anymore. We had a 4-3, in the open season? And now we're off to a 1-1.
Yeah, I think we've shaken that curse, but man, what a game there. Very different from the first one too. And absolute insanity. I think Fangfang there did a great job kind of trying to crawl back into the game, but eventually the triple tech factories prevail. That mech div coming in clutch, and yeah, Conclusion managing to close it out. But I mean, these guys are neck and neck. Both games here, like one of them drops to low and then suddenly starts mounting a bit of a comeback. And oh boy, does it make for an entertaining game.
For sure. That was such a long game. I mean, I was a little bit worried round 1 was just like, game 1 was like going to go to round 5. That's it. But we kind of got a little bit of extra juice there. This game went the distance, man. Like, I didn't expect those health totals to occur, and I definitely didn't expect it to go that late.
Me neither. I'm with you there. That was unexpected, and at the same time, everything we could have hoped for.
And it makes you wonder, like, how much more of that are we going to see? I mentioned not seeing Conclusion on the ladder very much these last several days. I don't know if he's just been practicing, scrimming like Illuminati or on some Smurfs, but that felt very prepared to me. Like, I think he sort of iterated on that Corner War Factory modern progression.
And we do know, right, that we have a lot of MAG1 players that do have scrim partners. I mean, I know Fairy has a scrim partner that I see them play with a lot. We've seen Sacco play a lot with Laomam, play a lot with Arbiter as well. And yeah, I think Conclusion mentioned some people, right, in the interview last weekend of those that had helped him prepare for the tournament.
That's right. Yeah, Illuminati and an in real life friend of his is what I recall. So yeah, very cool. I mean, you get a big advantage from playing people that you can communicate with and really dissect the game as a team compared to just, you know, playing a game and then forgetting about it, no analysis, different opponents. And, you know, you can even choose somebody who can emulate your opponent, right? Like, of course, nobody is exactly like Fangfang, but, you know, you can find somebody similar.
Oh, yeah. And that would be extremely helpful. Now, for the next game, I wonder if you're scared of the Corner Factory, maybe you play a bit more aggressive, where I think if you're both on the line, it is a bit more tricky to pull this Corner Factory stuff off. Doesn't tend to fare too well, especially when you have a lot of Phoenixes involved. So we might see that adaptation from Fangfang.
Yeah, I mean, it worked well game 1, right? Like, I don't know, Fangfang's always had a really strong aggro game. He's just good in general, of course, but I really don't mind him leaning into that. I feel like Conclusion's been doing really well against defensive players.
5, 4,
oh, yeah.
3.
Yeah, it seems like Corner Factory just is one of those strats that people haven't really played against much. So, yeah, it's been working out. All right, game number 3, 1-1, Conclusion versus Fangfang.
He gets that giant spec that he's quite a fan of here. Fangfang, I mean, he's got a Sledge pack. That gives him a lot of flexibility. We've seen him use Rhino Specialist expertly in game 1, and indeed, it does pick it up.
Is that giant spec pack something you want, though? Because I don't know if they like the Hounds and the Sabers. We're actually going to get Spider Void Eye. Well, here it is.
Oh.
For those of you who were looking forward to potentially seeing the new unit get some play, here it is. Now, we can't guarantee that it'll actually get teched or leveled or even remains on the board, but for the first round, they are going to be there.
That's right. Really high DPS, low range, and a little bit fragile. Has the ability to go into the sky for 200 on this aerial mode tech. But yeah, historically, very short history, has just not been good. It received a 30% health buff So, you know, a little bit more tanky, but still, I would say, pretty fragile.
Yeah, and he is a fortified spec on top of things. So Tarantulas, 70k hit points. Void Eyes, 1300 hit points. There is some health on the board here, and not the highest amount of DPS on the other side, just 2 marksmen, and Sledgehammers and Hounds aren't really known for their DPS, so
Yep.
could be a good start here.
Yeah, it could be. We've got a nice and safe positioning here from Fangfang, just a center defense. I mean, not that central. It's kind of it's fairly standard looking, but he's got that one dog up at the front, and that's gonna pull in almost everything to the center, which is a pretty strong defensive move there.
Now, I will say though, it's very unlikely that we're gonna see actual Void Eye Spider play here, even though it is a comp that you can experiment with. We have seen Conclusion play Spider packs in the past, and he ends up kind of selling out of them and going for the corner factory anyway. And I think this game, I mean, I would wager, you know, some money that we might see it again. The corner factory spot is already available again, and it would be very fitting into the board from Fangfang.
Yeah, I do wonder if it would be wise to have immediately sold out of the Void Eyes if you're planning for that. Like, either I feel like you either believe in them or you don't. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think... I always feel a bit bad selling out of it like 100 cost, because I almost would argue that it's better to have that unit on the board and just tank a shot than get 100 back and like empty your board.
Could be. Hard to say. We'll see how much they do. I think in the first round there, they were totally fine. Really good output on the Sledges, which are a little bit tricky to kill. But we'll see if we get some future investment or not.
I mean, like, they're not terrible, right? Like, they can tank 3 shots from the Sledgehammers. They can tank a shot from the Storms as well. They're not bad as frontline, especially with that fortified spec that Conclusion has. Now, have a look at this. The Stormcaller pickup from Fangfang has a deployment module as well, and going to go for a Tara Cheese.
Looks good. I like it. What's your thoughts on picking Storms in general here? I guess it's just good against Fangs, good against Tarantulas, and even can get some lucky shots on the Void Eyes, yeah?
Yep, I like it a lot. I mean, the big problem, or one of the big problems with Void Eye is it just clumps up around the units that you want to pair it with so much. So it's very hard for it to avoid those missiles. And yeah, I mean, we know that Stormcaller loves to shoot at slow targets like the Fangs, big targets like the Tarantulas. So yeah, fantastic game to pull those out.
Yeah, pretty interesting to see here. Thankfully, the Fortify on the tower was done. That's honestly mitigating quite a big disaster here. It's still a good move to cheese the tower. Honestly, not that good, though. We actually cleared quite a bit.
He doesn't really lose too much for it, though. It's worth a try. And he has the deployment module, so he can just retrieve the Stormcaller next round.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind it too much. But yeah, turned out much better than I thought.
Also, no AP on the Stormcallers. That is one of the significant changes, I would say, from the patch yesterday, and something that I have liked clicking. It's really, really nice into the bigger targets like the Spiders or the Sabers, but not going to be on the bar.
Definitely agree. A lot of level 3 units here available from the unit reinforcements. There's also the Melter. Phoenix is pretty hard to say no to. That's going to one-shot basically everything Fangfang has. You know, maybe you're a bit weak against the Wasp, but I guess you just answer it if you run into it. Oh, War Factory vibes.
Yep. I mean, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think Conclusion right now is, what, 3 for 3? If we count the fairy games as well. So, unless we see a response from Fangfang, who does go for the Melter immediately, then we might just see Conclusion keep playing that strat.
Yeah. Certainly don't mind it. I'm kind of curious to see how he's going to handle his left side tower, right? From his perspective, that Stormcaller is still there. Now, obviously, he's a very wise and experienced player. He knows the deployment module usage on it is the most likely case. But, you know, there's some mind games, right? If you leave that storm and you add a crawler, that's not very good for you. Okay, missiles. How he's going to handle that.
Yeah, I like this. Not too much overcommitment. I even would have respected if he just left it open, like call that bluff.
Yeah.
And yeah, just greed.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Nice
just so
missile
interesting to
still,
see. Yeah, that's actually quite
It's a
nice.
Mustang pack.
And we're locked onto the melter with that one level 3 bird. Void Eye's helping out as well. Tarantula, though, locked on, but I think we're going to keep it.
And yeah, I mean, Phoenix did receive a very, very small nerf, but I don't think we can really see it here. Still dishing out damage. And
Yeah,
going
for
to take
sure.
out that melter very easily.
It's a pretty big round here. You know, you really want to stabilize and not let those giants pick up those levels. You want to keep the Tarantula tempo going as well. And with the War Factory strategy in his pocket, I think he's feeling pretty good here.
Got a bunch of items, but can't put items on a War Factory, so do you pick this up with your conclusion? Spawn item could be nice here for Fang. Does have that
Yeah.
melter available. Not sure if you want Port Shield or Nano. The factory tends to dish out damage so fast that hard to get value out of that, but I think I would like to see at least an item pickup.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Port Shield is the best one against a War Factory, considering the other two are scaling with time. And I'm not sure you ever have a lot of time with a War Factory.
Well, it is going to be the Mustang spawn item regardless. Could have also maybe camped onto it and like put it on a really late melter to get some more value, but we'll just
Yeah.
put it on the existing one. Sledgehammer's on the flank. We do know about this. Rhino Specialist will give that level to Rhino aimed at the tower. Sledgehammer's picked up. Also going to kind of stall that left side. I like that. The Rhino should eventually get in though.
Yeah, I wonder what you're supposed to do to deal with the Rhino. It's been such a problem. This specialist is so powerful, historically big win rate on it, and it just single-handedly creates tower pressure.
You can always buy like a steel ball. I think that's the easiest way to deal with it, but we'll have to see. Right side for now, still looking kind of good. That play though from Fangfang, somewhat unconventional, going HE Mustang, making use out of the tech onto the spawned Mustangs as well, and it's not looking too bad.
Yeah. Oh, that Phoenix going to be dying. It would have taken down the Melter. There was only a 7-second debuff there, but it looks like big tempo swing here on conclusion. Going to be falling even lower than Fangfang.
And so far, so good on the red side of the board. But we have yet to see that factory show up. And here are the unit drops. Can sell the Typhoon. The Wraith is worth a little more, but you do have to sell it across 2 turns.
I think it's another preparation turn. He certainly could have pulled the trigger here.
Oh, I get the degen beam in return.
Ooh, okay. So that's going to be helpful on the left against the Rhino, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think is part of his logic that the Mustangs don't have enough DPS to kill the Wraiths anymore?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, his comp is really all about running in fast with the underground crawlers. So it might not be that easy to lock onto these Wraiths, which means that he can make very good use of that degeneration beam, which, I mean, it's insane if you can keep it up, but sometimes can be rough if you need multiple techs to keep it out of harm's way. But I think here he has a nice setup to protect it.
And both players going for degen, so kind of crazy. We'll see who takes the Photon first, which completely negates it, and of course gives you a defensive buff. The Rhino, though, not really answer. Okay, actually, it's breadcrumbed. He's trying to pull it to the right, but there's also a Wraith added as well.
Well, let's see. Sledgehammer has been retrieved with a deployment module for Fangfang. Does Conclusion have enough to punch through?
Yeah, that's the question. The oil comes down as well. That's going to be really powerful. A big thing here is, can the Phoenix kill the Melter? This Melter got the level, and honestly, the composition is really lacking DPS here. We can see the Wraiths falling before they really do that much. At least we still have the Tarantulas. The Rhino on the left gonna get the tower in moments.
At least the Wraith will go down here from Fangfang as well, but that debuff going to hurt a bit. Still some chaff left. Will distract the Melter. If the Phoenixes can lock on, maybe they can take that guy down, but it is currently level 2. 71k hit points is a fair bit, and with the second debuff, it does look like Fangfang will pick up the round, and it's actually a really large amount of damage.
And the oil's still there, so it's like, do you really go War Factory? I don't think so. I would love to see him parry the left side of the board. It's only a Rhino and a Wraith. Down comes Ion Blast. I'm sure that's going to be the pick for both players, unless Fangfang wants to cook with the Rhino Assault. So we'll see how that shapes up everything.
Ion Beam, there it is. Makes another appearance. This time around, though, not picked up for Fangfang.
Yeah, he's cooking with this Rhino Assault. What does that mean? Is he gonna like tech boom on it and drop a bomb? Like, what is this?
I mean, the back of Conclusion's army is somewhat open. Could try and aim that to the right tower, maybe. Although this beacon backwards might just be able to cover for it.
Yeah, it looks like it's just gonna be a defensive Rhino Assault. Gonna land on top of, well, hopefully, some of those Sledges. And if not, it'll still swing at them and get the job done. Kind of an interesting pickup there.
Pretty expensive move from Fangfang, though. He bought and unlocked that Vulcan just to set this oil on fire.
Yeah, a bit of a gut punch, yeah. Like, only 1,100 here for Conclusion, so it's fine to do, you know, these all-in plays. We see loans for both players, but what else do we got here? Feels like there's just the same problems that Conclusion had on the last round. Maybe the Ion fixes everything?
Yeah, the Ion could do a lot of damage. It won't kill the Melter, but it will do a good bit of damage. If the Phoenixes can survive it, they might be able to take it down, and at that point, maybe you can survive it.
Not a huge fan of the left side defense here. Like, is a level 1 Phoenix really enough to stop this Wraith plus blue Rhino?
Kind of looks like it. I mean, the other Phoenixes are coming over as well. We'll lock onto the Rhino, so that'll be defended. Decent
That's
Ion
nice.
Beam. Vulcan very low.
Yeah, the fire is doing a good job as well, right? Retreating away from your fire is, I mean, I guess not your fire, but the fire is pretty powerful here.
Yes, super good read, and using Fangfang's move against him. The Phoenixes, the high-level ones, will go down, though, and looks like it will be the round going over to Fangfang, but Conclusion does live to tell the tale and has one more round to try and scale the board. Will we finally see that factory?
I mean, the oil's gone, so maybe he's pretty prepared, right? He's got the flanks all lined up. He's got that crawler, which stops the instant Melter lock. He's got a shield airdrop even. That can go, of course, above the line, making you 100% safe against any locks.
Oh, ranged Vulcan from Fangfang. I don't know if I like that very much. If a corner factory does show up here, that is not going to do anything on the right side.
Really not a fan.
But man, look at the money for Conclusion. Like, where did it go?
I was wondering the same thing. So naturally, he should have 1,400, right? But the loan makes it 1,100. So he spent 250 on something, and I did not catch what it was. I mean, he spent, of course, 50 on the shield airdrop. So I guess War Factory
Maybe he
was
just
never
leveled his Mustang?
Yeah, probably just something like that. But yeah, War Factory was never available this round, just money-wise. He would need like an injection of cash from a sell or something.
And just gonna rely on the Phoenixes for now. Picks up those levels, adds another, goes range. Has the second attack buff as well.
Yeah, I mean, his DPS is decent. I guess what I dislike about his army is that the Wraiths don't feel very efficient. Like, they're just dying to this Marksman, dying to the Melter. Meanwhile, I think Fangfangs are a little bit better.
Yeah, I was expecting a bit more of a front line in this army, but right now there isn't one, really. It's just a couple of Void Eyes And then after that, it's the Wraith. And yeah, you will see them getting locked on pretty quickly.
Did a little bit better than I thought this time, actually. I think conclusions were a bit better, and with all these Mustangs and Phoenixes starting to kind of scale, maybe conclusions bringing it back?
Doesn't look too bad. All of these small units, not really something that the melters like to shoot at. And yeah, Phoenix damage going to be plenty to take down those melters, and that looks like a really good round.
Yeah, and you're not in a position to fortress anti-air, I don't think, so you can kind of just spam Phoenixes if that's deemed the best play.
Round number 8, triple Stormcaller could be interesting. We also have Steel Balls, which both of the players are going to pick up. Now, what techs do we have on them? We do run the armor. That could be significant against these Vulcans. Lock them up.
No armor for Fangfang, somewhat surprisingly. Kind of a staple tech there.
Yeah, it could have been really useful against those Mustangs as well, because,
yeah,
I mean, there are some Wraith, but those Mustangs are definitely doing most of the heavy lifting.
This is going to be interesting. The Wraiths are going to live so much longer, applying that precious degeneration aura. Incendiary bombs picked up. I mean, as long as we have bubbles nice and far forward, it should be okay.
Could be scary, though. Like, he might be able to buy Hounds later on, but just need one bad fire missile to land, and there goes your entire army of Mustang.
Yeah, whoa. We do get the War Factory. Okay. Man, this
There it
melter's
is.
scary, though, no?
Yeah, level 3 melter. I mean, I guess it's a little bit out of position right now, looking at those sledgehammers, so it shouldn't lock on.
On the War Factory.
Ooh. I mean, it's a ball of stats, even without
Against
text,
Melter?
but
I'm nervous, man. I don't know.
I mean,
so
look, it's all about who locks onto whom first.
Okay. I mean, the Melter
If
can
your
survive
chaff is good enough.
a while.
With the frontline steel balls that do have armor, by the way.
Yes. Crucially, he has armor. The degeneration's going to last so much longer. War Factory's trucking on in. Does get one of its weapons on the Melter, taking significant damage. Left side looking fine for conclusion as well.
And I mean, look at that. The late crawler's coming in, and this Melter just not going to shoot at that factory whatsoever. Tower will eventually go down. Left side, the Phoenixes take care of the Giants, and conclusion, I mean, he's pulling a bit of a comeback here, and that's a lot of damage. That might even be close to lethal.
Whoa.
Not quite.
Okay.
300.
I mean, if I feel like conclusion's scaling so much better now. Like, he has the better ball tech. He can level that War Factory, double tech it, range overload as usual. But what do you do against that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that Melter just seems in a little bit of an awkward position. We're gonna go Diffract.
You don't see that every day. And he doesn't have energy absorption, so he can't heal from locking onto the War Factory. So while it may result in more locks, I think the War Factory is still quite the threat. And just to be clear, he's doing the Diffract mostly to kill the balls and maybe earlier locks.
Yep, and it's a high-level melting point too, so even though those Diffract beams deal less damage each, once your Melter is level 3, you actually will be able to take down big targets too, if you just manage to get one strand to lock.
Yeah, that's a good point. Really nice levels here. Amp core as well. The oil comes down, but considering that Melters lose some range when they take energy diffraction, it might not be that bad here.
We'll have to see. Of course, that Diffract also, yeah, going to be used against the Steel Ball threat.
Yep. I'm really curious who's going to take this. Like, I think conclusion is favored, but that is a big Melter line.
Yeah, and there is fire as well, but maybe that's a good thing, meaning that the factory won't get slowed, and it is now level 2 with range and overload. That's a big difference from the previous round. Already locked to one of those Melters. Look at how fast it's going down.
Yeah, which is crucial, by the way. It is locked on. But down it goes. The tower pressure probably going to be real as well. There is a ton of Mustangs, but the left side, Conclusion's got a ball of army there as well.
And the Melter, it was locked with 2 of its beams, with the tower falls, 9 seconds of debuff. Factory will take down that Melter. And left side actually looking kind of good. Still some Phoenixes left, so that right side Wraith shouldn't be able to survive. And I think Conclusion, he's managed to turn the page.
Really impressive. That was a close game once again. Almost round 10 again. Just that, oh my god. These games are crazy, man.
Yep. That is wild. Another long one too. Like, again, as close as it gets, both players well below 1,000 hit points, and it all comes down to that final round. But yeah, the Factory gets it done once again.
Just such a powerful strategy. I mean, if the best counter in the game, Melter, sometimes can't win, that tells you about the efficacy of this strategy.
Yep, I mean, it's really impressive when done well.
And he's certainly mastered it. I mean, you can see how formulaic it is for him, right? He always has that crawler neighboring his War Factory. He's got the Mustang below it, and then he always does these flanks with either Sledge or apparently balls as well.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see how many times is he gonna get away with this. As long as Fangfang keeps playing a defensive starter, I think there's no reason why Conclusion wouldn't go for this strat. And yeah, as mentioned before, I think if Fangfang does go aggro, then maybe we see a bit of a different line from Conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, he was willing to play defense one of those games, so I don't know if he even wants to headbutt. So really, Fangfang could dictate the pace if he just picks the right pack and, yeah, I mean, just disrupts this game plan.
For now, though, Conclusion stringing 2 together, that must feel very nice.
Yeah, no, that's definitely really nice, especially considering losing the first game, you know, to go on a 2-0 streak here with the same strategy, by the way. And yeah, you pointed this out earlier, but he has quite the win rate now with this strategy, considering last week's performance against Flower Fairy.
4-0.
Pretty dang good,
if we
man.
don't count the first Fangfang game, which I don't think we do. I wouldn't consider that was a corner factory game. That was like defensive factory.
Yeah, definitely agree there. It's interesting to point out that this corner war factory strategy has been particularly strong in tournaments, right? Because that's where Apucci first popularized it. Won 2 different tournaments with it, you know, the built-in tournaments. And I mean, we see it to great effect here. Eventually, it sort of fell out of the meta on ladder. You know, people still leave parking spots, of course, in their corners time to time. But I mean, this is feeling ubiquitous. I mean, it's just all the time here, just owning and just having a huge resurgence.
Yep. And it makes you wonder, like, what changed? Or has anything changed? Did we just forget about it? Was it always this strong?
Other than the fire extinguisher on the Hounds, I can't think of much else, man. Like, I think it's just always been strong. And, you know, people got afraid of some of those counters that used to exist. For example, acid on crawlers, things like this. But maybe it was never an issue if you just play it right.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure if, like, Extinguisher Hound is that big of a thing, because we didn't see it in last game, and Photon was always a thing that you could do with Corner Factory, which is why, like, Acid never used to be that good into them. So, yeah, kind of wild to see the resurgence here.
We did see it in game 2, though, the fire extinguisher. Not, like, with huge prevalence or relevance, but it was there, you know.
Yeah, it was a little cosmetic, in my opinion, but it was there.
I don't know. I think I really do like that fire extinguisher exists to get rid of those oil fire turns. And, you know, maybe that does benefit the War Factory, right? Because melters locking onto your War Factory, like, it's an aggressive build, right? And spells favor the defenders, so, yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Game number 4. These guys do not get any rest. 2-1 for Conclusion. Here we go.
Another speed pack. Rhino denied from Fangfang. This time he's had quite the success with it. A lot of sledge packs, though, and I feel these are comfort picks for Fangfang.
I mean, holy moly, look at all. I think those are all the sledge packs in the game.
Yeah, man. quite a lot of sledges there available. 6 to choose from if you count both players. I really like Fangfang's choice, and I like Conclusion's choice as well. They're going to be rich. They just got to wait for round 4. Fangfang does have the ability to buy Farseers manually on round 2, since it is unlocked, as you can see here. And I've been quite a fan of that move. They're good against Sledges as well, since you can splash them quite consistently. So we'll see if that gets involved or not, but he is pretty deep into the marksman.
All right, we are going to get aggro again out of Conclusion. Doesn't leave a... Oh, never mind. We'll leave the factory hole on the right side. I was going to say that Arclight's in the way, but now it's not.
Yeah, it's the one thing you can't mess up. All right, there's the positions.
Not the best chaff clear here for Fangfang. Has only got to deal with 2 crawler packs, but sledgehammers even then sometimes can struggle. Not the highest DPS though for Conclusion, so he might take a while to chew through this army from Fangfang.
Yeah, luckily for him, he did get some crawler DPS against those sledges, so that helps out. Right side most likely going to be getting the tower, but I think by the time you get the tower, maybe the sledges have fallen. There's still 2 left. They're getting some nice shots here against the remaining forces. And yeah, maybe somewhat of a equal battle here.
Yeah, it looks very close. That marksman, though, should be the determining factor.
Yep.
And will take down the remaining forces from Conclusion.
You really want to see equal results here because they both have a very similar specialist as well. So this is about as even as you can get. Improved Phoenix is showing up, but this card got nerfed quite heavily. It went from 50% attack buff to 20%. Neither player interested, especially Fangfang, given he already has the marksman.
Still think it's a very good card, though. It didn't really lose much of why it's strong. Still has that insane amount of hit points, and the 20% actually is enough to still one-shot sledgehammers at equal levels, so...
Yeah.
Can be a nice pickup, but we won't see it.
Yeah. Well, what are we going to see here for Conclusion? Mustangs. I mean, okay, we know why the Mustangs are being picked up. It's because it's a formulaic part of the War Factor strategy we've been seeing. But I would argue, if it wasn't for that, I would never buy a Mustang here.
Yeah, no, me neither. I mean, Mustang just doesn't do well into Arclight Sledge. If you pick that opener, that is like the one starting pack that you don't want to see. Just tons of hit points and units that like to shoot at Mustang, but, well, willing to make a bit of a sacrifice, perhaps.
Yeah.
On the immediate turn to be able to have some strength later on.
It makes me wonder how early he's going to be aiming for this War Factory, because there is an injection of cash from the Farseer that he's going to get, or the Rhino, whoever has who. And then there's also the unit drop, right? So it's like, is this going to be one of those really early games compared to the kind of slower ones we've had previously?
I mean, he might need to, because this didn't look good at all. Mustang Edition not really doing much to the board state, and Fangfang now starting to punch heavily with Conclusion down to 3.5k.
Here's the money. I mean, you've got the full 400 here from the Fire Badger. And yeah, he does pick it up. The Worm, though, from Fangfang, I think that's going to be kept, considering, yeah, it was expensive. And, I mean, there's certainly not enough DPS to take it down. Once Conclusion buys the War Factory, that Worm ain't going to look very good, though.
Yeah, his whole board right now just would lose to that unit. Left side, we do get a bit of a cheese from Fangfang, going to aim a steel ball at the left side tower. Oh, he moved it.
Yeah, he undid.
Doesn't like it.
Indeed. Another Worm is the preference, and no tower cheese anymore. And how much damage are we talking here? Like,
I mean, this must be a lot. The Fire Badger's on the flank. That'll just be targeting the Sandworm. I don't even think he can take down one. The damage is just so low on Conclusion side of the board.
Yeah, 700 minimum, I'm thinking, as both worms live. I mean, the damage looks fine for now, right? The worms get into a quarter to a third. But I feel like the DPS is going to be falling pretty soon here. Actually, maybe we kill one, but the burrow occurs. Now we're on the sledges. In come the worms with their splash attack. Gonna be close,
Some
though.
Mustangs trying to take the tower, but they won't be allowed to do so. The worm fighting for its life.
fall.
I do think it'll go down.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Oh
my days.
God.
That's
Big moment.
350 you don't want to be taking.
That's wild, man. That's got to be so frustrating. Okay, the specialists activate. A Farseer comes down for Fangfang, a Rhino for Conclusion. Neither player sold them yet. Both players taking the fire spell. That spell looks really, really good here for Fangfang, killing the Mustangs, damaging. I mean, it just kills everything.
And here we go, round 4 factory. The Badger's been sold. The Rhino could throw that at the left tower. Instead, it's going to go on the flank, protecting any insta-locks. But factory should be able to pretty much deal with everything on Fangfang's board.
Can the worm ever kill it?
Yeah, I don't know. I find it hard to judge. It is level 2, which is quite significant. I don't know if there's enough chaff in the way, though, to prevent the factory from like DPSing it down with all of its guns.
Yeah, the War Factory just has much better stats, even than a level 2 worm. So if they just headbutt, I mean, yeah, the War Factory wins, but of course, this fire is, I think it's insane.
Yeah, it's brutal. Entirety of Conclusion's army here will fall, even the sledgehammers. So it's basically just going to be the factory fighting everything. Crawler
The flank
too.
as well. Oh my god. And the Rhino was moved from the flank to the left side, which actually I really like that. Simply because, yeah, protect your tower. But speaking of protecting your tower, uh-oh.
That might make the difference. This factory definitely would be taking out the worm, but that debuff is going to make a difference. And maybe this worm even manages to live through the debuff.
Man. Oh, death
it
shot.
goes down. Okay.
Yeah, that bug where if your projectile's in the air as you fall, the projectile doesn't remember that it's debuffed, does the full damage, takes it down. The fire kind of killing some stuff at the end here.
How can a shot be debuffed if the unit is non-existent? Is dead the same as debuffed? The game would argue that no. No, it is not.
Yeah, I guess so. Ooh, earliest possible reinforcement here on the second wave. Decent money options, right? The Scorpion is net 500. The balls are net 550. So guess that's a pretty nice option here. We've seen Conclusion use the balls really well in the previous games. So yeah, I do like this.
Sets him up for the eventual mech div as well, right? So let's see. It's going to be the balls as well from Fangfang.
Left side attack here, I think, for Fangfang. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, we saw him think about this play before. And we'll actually commit to it now, it seems.
Missile Strike is back, but a great bubble there. I was a little bit worried about that spell, but yeah, I guess if you tuck your Mustangs nice and tight, yeah, you just need one bubble late game. Here comes the oil that we see basically every game against the War Factory to varying degrees of success, I'd say. Like, sometimes the oil matters, but other times, you know, the War Factory is just so tanky, it doesn't matter if it's fast or not.
Oh, and we get a range upgrade here on the steel balls and the armor on those worms as well. So some people here maybe would sell the worm, but Fangfang seems to think that he has enough tempo to just take those hit points, and they will take a while to take down. We could see the factory was doing well, but it also wasn't like one-shotting the sandworms either.
Level 2 is such a big part of why he chose to go into the worms. It's just so much effective HP. In fact, the blue worms have more HP than the white War Factory, so a lot of HP to chew through, and while he did missile the left, a crawler was placed there, so the ball gonna get through.
And again, debuff, 7 seconds, steel balls with the range locked onto that factory as it's stuck in the oil. And this looks really good here for Fangfang. I mean, how many hit points do we have left? 1276. I mean, with 2 worms and all those mid-sized units left alive, I think that's simply going to be it.
Uh-oh, the strategy has lost, and it was round 5, which is really early to lose a game of Mechabellum. That hurts, man.
Yep, very quick bounce back there from Fangfang, equalizing the score once again, 2-2. And well, this is the problem with that kind of formulaic playstyle sometimes. You can get tempoed out. Like that Mustang pickup, it does look very good if you get to the late stages, but into this board from Fangfang, it just lost way too many hit points.
Yeah, such an interesting game. Did Fangfang even lose a round, by the way? He's sitting at a nice round 4,000 HP. I don't think he did.
No, I don't think so either.
Uh-oh. I mean, we've seen Conclusion have strong mental. I mean, we actually interviewed him, and he said that his mental was hurting, but he just kind of powered through it. So regardless of whether his mental's hurt or not, maybe he'll be okay.
I mean, he has got some reason to have confidence still, right? Like, had some great games there, and well, same can be said for Fangfang, but I think so far it's been neck and neck. And, well, these games can happen. That's why it's the best of 7.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know. These players are looking pretty even, which I think does make sense. I think Conclusion is, you know, one of the best 301 players. Fangfang is one of the best 201 players. We heard in an interview from Conclusion, I don't know, was it 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago, but he said that he doesn't do very well against Fangfang historically, and he sort of challenged him to a show match, and we were trying to set that up, and then ironically, both players ended up in the finals, so this is like, this is really to settle all the beef.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that he mentioned that. I guess Faith there chiming in, making sure that both of these guys face each other.
Yep. And it's 2 apiece.
And let's maybe briefly like go over what's on the line here, because I mean, it's nice to go into the MAG1 Hall of Fame, joining the likes of Sacco, Fairy, Scion, but you get a bit of cash too.
Yeah, nothing to scoff at for sure. It's what, 500 for first, 300 for second, and the third and fourth players received 100. So yeah, not a bad payday, that's for sure.
Very nice prize pool. And I believe that the next season is already underway, with people being ready to sign up if they want to. Instead of 16 players, it's actually going to be doubled up to 32. So if we have any Heimamar players that are willing to take a shot and perhaps be the next Conclusion, be the next Fangfang, then yeah, would highly recommend signing up.
Yeah, guys, so we have a pin in the chat, so at the top of your Twitch chat there, and you can sign up. We are going to be selecting the higher win rate, MMR, all those sort of metrics. And what it is we have a private server, a whole clone of a Mechabellum server, where we have private ladder matches being played, and, you know, we'll be broadcasting them. It'll be like an arcade, you know? There'll be tons of games going on. As casters, we'll be looking at the most hyped games, you know, giving prizes, analyzing them and all that. So I'm really looking forward to it. I know a ton of work is going on behind the scenes. I've been a little bit involved myself, and I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be great. Sign up.
Already looking forward to it. However,
4,
the entertainment's not over yet for today. We do have this finals in front of us. It's 2-2, Fangfang Conclusion, heading into game 5 now. Who will go to match point?
Yeah, really important game here. Much different packs than the last game. Instead of 6 Sledges, there's only like 1 there. That is the one that Fangfang picks up. He loves the Sledges. Not a bad specialist either. Conclusion, really great pack. You know, Steel Ball with Farseer. You're sitting above 4,000 HP. You make 100 more supply than your opponent, who only has the Sabertooth. But, you know, the Sledgehammer, a really strong defensive unit, quite good against the Steel Balls. We see the vertical positioning on the Sledges. That's to make the Steel Balls lock on 1 at a time, so definitely a nice trick there if you haven't seen it.
And again, familiar setup here for Conclusion. We'll pick up some arc lights to be able to chaff clear. And again, it's going to be a right side attack. Vertical Sledges now for Fangfang. Going to stall the steel balls. And no DPS, but does have a lot of stalling potential.
Yeah, I think the arc lights are at least decent DPS. Interesting to note that Conclusion hasn't been favoring hounds. I thought he was maybe fine with them from previous play, but it seems like he's really identified Arclight as the better opening, for at least for his playstyle.
Yeah, it seems like we have seen Heimemar players favor Arclights more. Hounds just kind of struggling lately with, well, especially not being able to one-shot the crawlers tends to hurt a bit. Although we have seen some players like get a very early second tower attack enhancement to be able to work around that, but yeah, Arclight's just way more consistent, it seems.
Seems like it, yeah. Now, how are the steel balls doing? Looks like the left crawler is going to be charging towards the tower, and I don't think we're going to have an assassin ball get there in time. So once the debuff comes in, I imagine we clean up the steel balls and should be favored to take the round here.
Actually, quite a convincing one too. Most of the sledgehammers will stay alive, 2 Arclights as well, so 450 damage or so, going the way of Conclusion.
Not too shabby, almost a 1k health gap between them going into round 2, where we see 1 call down, redeployment, missile strike, which is picked up by Fangfang, and mass-produced Rhino. You know, not a bad card. You're paying half the cost, but only losing 20% of the stats.
It is a really cool and fun card, but
yeah,
sadly, we're not going to be seeing it here.
We're up to 500 money
getting
now.
Sold.
Yeah, what are we thinking? Like, surely not Wraith because balls are
Could
good
go
with Wraith.
Farseer.
Yeah, Farseer, but then what are you selling for? This is interesting. I'm pretty curious.
Oh, double wasp.
Please explain, Rooster.
Well, it's obviously a tempo play. Wow. What is that? Double Mustang? That is insane.
I'm so confused by both players' choices here. Like, okay, wait, no. I understand Fangfang's play. There was a wasp drop offered, wasn't there, as a call?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he'll be very happy to know that Conclusion went into double wasp, because I think Conclusion, all he wanted from this turn is to get a cheese in and not take any more damage, but that's not going to work. Those Mustangs are going to be able to take down the wasp, and yeah, no tempo gain.
I'm so confused by Conclusion's play. I just don't understand what it could be good with.
I mean, he has the jump drive, right? Like, having jump drive wasp can be nice. You can just put them on the flanks. It pretty much deals with any type of cheese attempt, so it's not that bad, but it definitely does hurt that he doesn't take up this round.
Yeah, I mean, you pay the 100 tax as well, so while I agree with you, I guess jump drive is the thing. Yeah, he's just gonna sell. He did pay 50 for the unlock on the wasp, so nothing to scoff at. Ranges the arc lights. He knows he gets his Farseer next round. The Sabertooth comes down for free for Fangfang, and at least the smoke is gonna probably come through, but I feel he is lacking significant firepower here.
Yeah, I'm a little worried here. It looks a lot like last game where Conclusion just like setting up part of his board for the late game, but not answering any of the current threats. That smoke looks like it'll land, but there's no DPS left. The steel balls got sold. I doubt this level 1 pack will be able to get in, and sledgehammers and sabers don't exactly die to level 1 arc lights.
Yeah, exactly. He must be planning something round 4 here as the Farseer comes down. He's at least figured out his chaff clear so he can focus on, you know, the next puzzle piece, which I imagine is either a tank line or single target.
Arc lights will lock onto enemy arc lights, enemy sledges, and the saber, so Crawler's just going to be getting in. Yeah, that right side not looking good whatsoever. Left side not looking much better either, already punching through.
Really not an inspiring turn here. Like, he's always unfavored this round due to the Saber coming down for free, but you don't want to lose that hard, right?
No, I mean, how much damage is this? Like, must be around 1,000 or so.
I think so, yeah. That puts him pretty low. Yeah, 1,300. I mean, oh, please not another round 5 game.
That would be a bit rough. There are unit reinforcements here, and depending on what Fangfang picks, he might be able to snowball even further. Of course, Conclusion also gets to pick something. Both will go for the DPS option. Blue Phoenixes picked up.
Mustang picks up a level in the back there. That is nice. It does join in late, but, you know, still nice here. Ranging the birds, keeping them nice and safe behind the arc lights, buying more chaff, and the smoke will last at least one more turn, so maybe Conclusion has a chance here. What did he sell, by the way? The Farseer. Is that really better than selling the Wasp? I guess he's trying to kill the Mustangs, have a late Wasp, which intercepts the Blue Phoenixes. A rather interesting move.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious to see how this will pan out. The good thing about the Blue Phoenix is they do one-shot both the arcs and the sledges, so
Yes.
the DPS problem has definitely been fixed. Crawler going to be on that bottom right flank to eat the missile that was already there, but I think the last 2 or 3 crawlers should survive.
Yeah, I think 3 probably. Maybe you can get 2, I'm not sure. And then it'll be chased by a few crawlers, so yeah, definitely nothing to worry about. So we'll see how the Phoenix connections go here.
Wow, look at those Phoenixes. Insta-locking Sledges, arc lights, and that Sabertooth gone as well. That's looking much better already here for Conclusion. Arc lights getting to do their job finally, shooting at crawlers.
The Sledges, though, are kind of our problem. I mean, sure, you one-shot them, but how long does it take to shoot 5 Sledges?
Yeah, that is a fair point. The late Wasp's not really going to be able to do much against those Mustang, and I mean, it was looking better, but again, this looks like 1,000 damage. Maybe it's even worse than last round, actually.
Yeah, I think it's more than 1,000. Okay, 1,100. Not as bad as the 1,300 on the previous round, but look at that health total, man. Round 5.
Yeah, well, this is as far as he got last game, and I'm sure Fangfang wouldn't mind closing it out yet again. What can Conclusion do here to turn the tide?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's not an easy question to answer, right? I mean, sure, I can throw out crazy stuff like, you know, get a war factory or, I don't know, throw fire with Vulcans, but, you know, what's going to scale you as well, right? You can't just win one round here. You got to win the whole thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, we didn't really look at Fangfang's hit points, but he's still sitting at 4.7k.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's rough, man. There's a lot of Mustangs on the board. Okay, we have arc lights, but they don't have levels. They survive a shot or 2 even from the arc lights. It's just so much garbage to go through. Like, I actually kind of don't mind getting fire involved, but pretty expensive to get that going.
Yeah, it feels like that's something you want to do on like round 7, but it's only round 5. So expensive to get your hands on something like that. For now, it'll just be the Vulcan call down in the top right for Conclusion. Should get a decent amount of value. I think the Phoenixes might move too far forward to intercept it. EMP on the left, not going to be too bad for Fangfang either. I am a bit concerned about that left side of the board.
Yeah, I agree with all that. We add another bird, which is fine. I actually think like the only thing that matters is just having a ton of arc lights, but he's so low on health. He really needs to turn things around. The Vulcan is getting through. The birds don't turn around. It'll head on towards those Mustangs, start burning those up. That's going to be handy. But do we have enough arc lights here to clean up the remaining forces?
I mean, I don't know. The Vulcan there did a decent job, but it will eventually actually fall to those Blue Phoenixes. Underground, not doing too poorly. 874 hit points. Phoenixes will go down. 2 arc lights remain. He will at least survive.
Yeah, okay. I thought he was winning for several moments of that battle, but Takes about half his remaining HP there. The Mustang experience continues, although, yeah, no levels. We actually get a bunch of Arclight levels. That could be a comeback mechanic.
Yeah, wouldn't be too bad. We get unit reinforcements as well. Phantom Rays
Armor.
available. Could be a play, but there are big Phoenixes on the board.
Yeah. These are interesting choices, to be honest. There's like Stormcaller lines with fire. Marksman, if you want to try and snipe out those burrs. Phantom Ray armor available. I don't think Melting Point really makes sense for either player.
No. I mean, they're a bit awkward, I would say, these drops. You almost want to just sell and go something completely different. Loose Formation looks really nasty here for Fangfang. The Chaff Clear for now on Conclusion's board only going to be Arclights, and well, if you've ever played into that tech, Arclights really, really don't like having to shoot Loose Formation crawlers.
Yeah, it's a nice identification of the weakness here. Like, of course, Fangfang has the Mustangs. You can't do the same move against him. You can spam crawlers, sure, but, you know, you're low on deploys. You can't necessarily spend a whole turn of just 3 crawlers. So this just might be it here. I mean, we're buying more Arclights. How many crawlers do we have for Fangfang here? Looks like about 7 in the main battle.
Yeah, and then 1 on the flank.
That's tough, man. 7 is a lot for these. Like, there is a lot of arcs, but I don't know, man. It's a strong move. We have missiles,
yeah,
though.
you'll have to really power through. We do have missiles, but
just
left side, we have a Phantom Ray spawn in from Fangfang as well. It won't be able to tank that missile, but at least it'll get slowed. Oh, Arclight's already going down. The Phoenix range now for Fangfang making a massive difference, and underground crawlers all dead. This does not look good whatsoever.
Yeah, I can't imagine Conclusion winning this one. Actually, the Phantom Ray comes in finally, gets the tower, tons of stuff left here. And indeed, Fangfang gonna go up 3-2 in this best of 7 series and just needs one more game to take the whole thing.
Match point, here it is. And that's back-to-back pretty one-sided games out of him. Will Conclusion be able to recover?
It's tricky, right? You've tried your War Factory. It's finally been beaten. You try... I don't even know. This game was weird, but, you know, he tried like an aggro. Also not really working. I don't know. He got too fancy with those wasps, man. That was kind of the losing play.
Yeah, that lost him a lot of tempo. Doing it on the wasp drop turn, I guess. Also not ideal, but man, yeah. He sold a steel ball to be able to do that as well. Ended up selling a wasp the turn after, so deployment's just missing. And meanwhile, you could see the amount of units that Fangfang was starting to build onto his army. So many Mustangs taking up levels, and yeah, just not enough on Conclusion's board to really come back.
I mean, it's a good demonstration of the downside of selling units, right? Like, if you just look at who has more stuff on their board, it's Fangfang by so much.
And man, I mean, maybe, you know, Conclusion just gotta have a little bit of a small break, walk around the house, scream into a pillow, whatever you need to do, you know, we don't judge.
Yeah.
Smash a controller, you don't need that anyway.
Indeed.
Be sure to keep your mouse intact, though. That's kind of important.
Indeed, indeed.
Eat some 100% chocolate. Hey, it does work. It does work. Can speak out of experience. You know, I was looking at the benefits of chocolate, and there's a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, a lot of esports professional players do eat a little bit of chocolate before they perform. This is like a popular thing in StarCraft. Just that little bit of sugar boost, you know, can be exactly what you need.
The sugar boost? I mean, I was going to ask, but is it 70% chocolate or above? Because I was reading that apparently it needs to be 70% or more, and then you get all of these benefits, like healthy skin, like more blood flow to your brain, all of the good things, you know?
Interesting. All right. I didn't know this.
Yeah. It's
we get
full
a
of
sponsor?
antioxidants as well. Oh, that would be something.
Give us
Gamer chocolate, dude. Why has nobody gone onto this yet? Like we've got gamer, like what is it, like fuel, like all of that stuff. But like, where's the gamer chocolate at? There's like there's a
Exactly.
market.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
All right. Well,
You know what's
the next game already
interesting?
booted up. Yeah, go ahead.
Conclusion, like historically and even recently, a big air player. He plays air specialist more than every single player out of our 16 MAG1 players. 110% more, in fact, than every other MAG1 player's average. And we just seen absolutely no airplay. Like, okay, sure, we see Phoenixes time to time, but you know, he only has one life left. Does he risk going into his favorite old school air strat, or does he just continue deciding between War Factory and this ground-based offensive?
Yeah, he hasn't touched it, right? And now he's on match point. If he tries something different, it could cost him, but maybe it's what he needs because, yeah, this kind of like feigning factory setup hasn't been working out for him. Anyway, potentially final game. Game number 6, starting now, between Fangfang and Conclusion.
All comes down to this. Looks like Fangfang robbing him of that aerial specialist, his giant as well. So Conclusion, maybe not getting comfort picks here. Meanwhile, Fangfang, I mean, I think he'd be more than happy to take that giant specialist. Whoa.
Looks really good, but no. Void Eye Spider. We did see it before from Conclusion. This time around, it'll be Fangfang trying that out.
That's right. And who won that game where the Void Eye was on the board?
I want to say that it was Conclusion.
I think so too. Yeah.
It was like the
So
weird
maybe-
game with the Phoenixes.
Yeah, so interesting. I mean, I don't think it's too bad here, to be honest with you. There's like a lot of medium targets for them to pew pew at and really dish in that damage to help the tarantulas finish them off. So we'll see who's going to get ahead in this headbutt.
I mean, look, if there's any situation where Void Eye should perform, it is this. They've got great DPS per cost. They're up against relatively tanky army. They've got some of the chaff clear frontline they need in the form of the tarantulas. And, I mean, it's a low-range matchup, so what else do you need?
I definitely agree, yeah. How do you feel about Conclusion being speed specialist but not really able to use it too much? I mean, maybe you can attack the right side.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is something that Fangfang's picked up on, because we have seen from the heat map that Conclusion has quite a heavy right side bias, and we have seen that so far, except on the speed spec games. So I wonder if he's trying to like corral people into thinking he's going to be right side, but then when he's speed spec and you've explained this, you have that tire pressure with the speed, he wants to be on the other side.
That is really interesting. Yeah, because we've seen a speed game earlier today, and yeah, it was the same thing, right? He was left side. He had that arc light on the right. So, I mean, he copy and pasted basically his whole play. And Fangfang, I think, really did a good job of countering it.
I mean, that is as good of a first round as you'll get. All the Void Eyes still alive, and the Spiders too, so Fangfang off to a fantastic start yet again.
Okay, Missile Strike here. Pretty good spell against Void Eyes. Yeah, a bit better here for Conclusion, I would say. But Fangfang says, even though Void Eyes are similar to Phoenixes, I'm going to get Phoenixes. I'm going to get 2 of them. And that is some powerful pressure there on the right.
Oh man, double Phoenix. That does look very scary, and Supply Specialist already rearing its head, being able to pick up that Missile Strike, which is so lovely when you get it this early with the low cooldown, and also being able to go for double Phoenix. Immense pressure.
Yeah, that 50 supply is making such a big difference. And, you know, how do you parry this outside of using sentry missiles? Well, Mustang would work, but I can't imagine those going in front of the tower. But maybe he extends. He wants to stay away from the missile strike. Ooh. Clutch.
All right. Good move. Pressuring the right side tower. Mustangs will definitely be able to get rid of those Phoenixes, so prevents a early debuff disaster.
And look at the hole. Or the parking spot, if you will. 7 by 7.
Wonder what that's potentially for.
Dubious.
Into Phoenix, though, can be tricky, but this time around, it does seem like those Mustangs will have a little bit more success in the early game. Left side, though, still struggling a lot. Missile didn't quite manage to hit the blue crawlers.
In the speed SBC, pretty nice here. Like, you collapsed during that debuff. Be really nice if you could kill this Tarantula, but I don't think that's going to be the case. And the Tarantulas, of course, very powerful against Mustangs. The debuff going to seal the deal, and I think you'd be lucky at this point to get that Tarantula.
Yeah, it's not going to be it. Maybe the Arc can clear some of those crawlers, but again, Fangfang with a good round.
All right, let's see. Do the cards give us any help here? Conclusion wants to get that War Factory online. He's also not doing too hot in the left. What is good in a headbutt here? There's an Assault Marksman line, but neither player, or at least not Conclusion, running it. Goes for that Wasp that we've seen him play quite a bit. I imagine we're going to see a jump drive here from Fangfang. That's going to cost him 100, so pretty expensive. And the question is, will he risk going into the flank, which Fangfang loves to do when there's already Wasp being offered?
Doesn't look like that'll be the case. Perhaps he does expect the Wasps to be picked up. It is a sensible choice for Conclusion, as he's the one into Mustang and his opponent doesn't have any real response as of yet. We'll just go for the Scorpion instead, so kind of calling a bluff, or believes that he can just win the ground hard enough to be able to just get rid of Wasps with his Phoenixes.
So I feel like as Conclusion, you know jump drive is being picked. So I think you always do the Wasps exactly where he has them. But then you know that the Phoenixes are going to scam what they can, right? So you can see the left arc light here, going to instantly die. Now, honestly, that's not even a big deal because the arc light is just stuck on that Tarantula. I suppose the ball range here is aiming to free the arc lights, right? Because you kill the Tarantulas that much quicker. But yeah, just some interesting things to think about.
Wow, that missile on the left actually will save the arc. What a move.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's so crazy, man. There's the ball range getting the Tarantulas. The arc lights are now free, which means they can kill the blue crawler, the white crawler, the Wasp come in. You know, the right side with the Scorpion was quite a nice parry there from Fangfang, but there's a lot left here for Conclusion.
And that doesn't look too bad. Although I will say, going ranged steel ball into the Scorpion pickup might not feel the best.
Or maybe it does feel good. I don't know, because it is a little bit volatile on who gets the lock on.
That is true. The Scorpion also is pretty close to the line, but that debuff is very good for Fangfang. So all that'll survive is, yeah, the Wasps.
Speed SBC's been getting some good value, I have to say. He's done a good job of keeping Fangfang guessing. Fangfang doing a good job himself, though, of parrying it. He sort of locked down each position here. In round 4, premium econ card showing up.
This is a really fun card to play. Efficient light manufacturing. If you get lucky, you get that additional deployment on top, and oh boy, you can buy so many small units.
Yeah. I mean, round 4 is the earliest that red cards show up in Mechabellum. And, you know, these econ cards, you want to pick them early, of course. So this is prime time. Fangfang didn't even have to think about it. He's one of the greediest players in Mechabellum. But Conclusion, what's he thinking about? Is it just skip versus efficient for him? Or, you know, is he thinking about one of those other cards?
Not too sure. Going to go for the improved Wraith here, which is potentially a bit scary, I would say, into the existing Phoenixes, but lucky for him, it seems like the jump drive is going to get used on the right side, so this Wraith is just going to be free to take down anything it wants. Right side balls, though, not really much being done with. And then what is going to happen there? Okay, we get a missile on the right side. Actually, Phoenixes being brought back to the left, so they will be on the same side as the Wraith. But the right side, steel balls will be able to lock onto that level 2 Scorpion, and that's a very nice move. Able to take those down immediately. And looking good here for Conclusion. Right side getting in, steel ball still alive. might be able to lock onto that spark that is somewhat crucial. Left side, though, struggling. The Phoenix is able to take down the improved Wraith, and no anti-air left. It actually looks like Fangfang will be coming out ahead, but an awfully close round here for Conclusion, and able to kind of start equalizing, perhaps.
He went for improved Wraith, huh?
Yep.
Oh, that is interesting. Not the strongest improved card in Mechabellum, but it can be better than it looks.
It's also like not one of those cards that adds 100, right? It only adds 50 cost. So, and with an item here, that's not too bad. Going to get improved firepower. Have to imagine that'll go on top of a Wraith. They now get some range as well. Got that 5 bonus range on the card as well. So, sitting at 105. And then going to pick up 1, 2 more right side as well. We did see that missile to try and get the insta-lock on the Scorpion. Sledgehammer going to cleverly get added there for Fangfang to block the insta-lock on top of that Scorpion. Oh, and a very, very cheeky flank here coming in from Fangfang. Going to put those Phoenixes in the bottom right and use his missile strike to get rid of the Wasp, which means that this should get through, unless somehow, some way the Wasps can kill these during the spawn in time before the missile drops.
Yeah, that's a nice move. Kind of a classic, but so hard to play around, right? It's like, do you really want to have 2 answers per flank threat, you know?
Yep. Yeah, it's a really, really nice move. The missile, though, not too bad either here for Conclusion, I have to say. Going to hit some Stang, some Void Eye, some Crawlers, soften up the Phoenix as well for those Wraith to take down, so... yeah, curious to see how this pans out. Right side, though, looks a bit dodgy, although there's no real anti-air, so that Wraith might just be able to clean up everything.
Wow, 1 Wasp surviving. I guess it doesn't really matter, but
Yeah,
kind of
that's
funny
not gonna
there.
make the difference.
No, the left side mostly handled, though. The Wraith's
Ooh,
dishing out
okay.
so much damage.
Arclight there actually being very clutch. It goes down to the Phoenix, but it stalls for a little bit longer so that the debuff timer doesn't really bother Conclusion too much.
Yeah, really not too bad here, considering what that could have been. And with the speed SBC once again getting so much value here, taking a round.
Though, mind you, look at that left tower. Conclusion is loaning.
And there's efficient light for Fangfang, right? So
Yep.
wildly different economies to be sure, but Conclusion has his unique advantages. You know, he's got Giga Wraiths, he's got that speed SBC. You know, he's got a small health fleet as well. 3,000 is not a lot, so I think there's not a lot of breathing room here for the light manufacturing to take off.
And look at this play from Fangfang. Going to buy his own Wraith, and those are not improved, just regular. And then picks up the Degeneration Beam. It is true
Yeah, that's
that
nice.
Conclusion doesn't really have like massive anti-air damage, so these Wraith might just stick around for long enough to where those Phoenixes can lock onto Conclusion's Wraith.
Yeah. I guess like once you take 8 gun, the DPS will be pretty severe. You could also, of course, just go into Photon, which he has on his boat bar, but that would be quite expensive to get into.
We still do need a unit drop though, right? Round 7, so maybe that'll include an Overlord.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that would be really clutch. I think he would snap pick it. But man, Degen is just one of those incredible headbutt techs. And you can see the damage is just not there to take them down. What a crushing
huge
round.
play.
Oh my god, he's the one that's scaling with economy. And for him to just, oh my god, he is minutes away from winning the whole thing, perhaps.
Yeah, Conclusion here really needs something. It's not going to be the correct unit with Photon. Farseer is offered, but that doesn't hit air units. So, doubt that we'll see that being picked up. Although, could be some cheap EMP to try and turn off that Degen beam.
That's such a great point. I really think he should go for that. only paying 100 to stop this negative aura affecting your primary side seems really valuable. EMP just good in general. He does go for it. And he's lining them up. All right. Nice call, Rooster. Love that. Will it be enough, though?
I mean, I don't know. Currently, there's nothing in front of them. So it does look like we'll see that instant lock. At the same time, okay, we do get the 8 gun. You mentioned this. I think that is really important because even without the Degen beam, those Wraith would not go down fast enough, and the Phoenixes deal massive damage if they ever get the lock. So need to get through this front line as fast as he can.
Yeah, we could even see like a flank to interrupt one of those lock-ons. Would be a nasty play, but looks like Fangfang out of money's already rapid deployed. And the right side, not going to be able to EMP every degen. That's a lot of blue birds, man.
Yeah, that is an awful lot. New Wraith also blue added to the right side. 2 more even. Is it going to be enough? Needs to get through these Wraith as fast as possible. Can the Farseers do it and keep conclusion in this game and in this finals?
He's got to win the left side. It is so important. I don't think this right side has much hope whatsoever. The Wraith's taking a long time to go down, but down they go as the Phoenixes take considerable damage, but not quite dead. Still dishing out that damage. The right side tower under heavy fire here. Down it goes, and this is just crushing for Fangfang as he wins his 4th game, making him the winner of Season 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new MAG1 winner. Fangfang takes the crown.
Big congrats. That is his first win as he joins, 3 different 201 players from China now. They're looking very dominant, man. 301, though, put up a good fight. Congratulations to Conclusion as well. Obviously, both players very proud of what they've done, both coming home with a lot of money. 500 for Fangfang, 300 for Conclusion. And what a series that was.
Yeah, some really cool games in there. I think especially that second game, which went, like 10, 11 rounds, was something else. But eventually, Fangfang gets back on top, and it doesn't really let go of the pressure.
Yeah, there was definitely some back and forth. It was like Fangfang game 1, the Conclusion winning 2 in a row. He seemed maybe to have all the momentum, but that final portion of the series, man, Fangfang was kind of dominating. The moment that he beat the War Factory strategy, felt like Conclusion was a little bit afraid to try it once again.